and Alonzo, it has been a little while since we have done
Indeed.
one of these. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here early. We have so many friends who are already here. Hopefully, you will see us soon. We should be hooking up with you any second.
Oh, I see. Yes.
I see an ad. Hooray for Bill Davies. Thank you to our friend Bill for being here. David's here. Tracy's here. Good morning from New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand, Tracy? I'm very curious about
What
that.
day?
Yeah, what day is it? I think it's tomorrow.
Mm.
Tracy's coming to us from the future.
Ooh.
Denise is here. Hello, Denise. Hello, Christine. Hi, everyone. Good to see our friend Doug Arthur. Doug Arthur, get back to work. He says, "Hey there, hepcats and moondoggies. Hope you're having a good day." Hi, Lewis. Good to see everybody. We've not been here for a live stream in like over a month. We've done some
Wow.
movie spoiler live streams. We did Superman and
That
something
sounds right.
else.
I think. Yeah.
Anyway, but we're here now, and so thank you for your patience. We've been traveling all summer long. Thank you, David, for saying we look and sound great. Omar
Rico.
says we need to review the Belgian film Night Call. Alonzo, do you know Night Call?
I have never heard of it. Does it have a U.S. release?
Yes. Let's
Sorry, don't
find
know
out.
it.
And good afternoon to you, Mark, in Oakland. 7 a.m. Saturday, says Tracy.
Whew. Well, good
Okay.
morning.
So I can't do math,
That's
but that
19 hours ahead, I want to say.
19 hours. We are doing a table for one soon with a friend in Australia, and where he is 14 hours ahead.
Whew.
So, anyway, we're going to figure it out. Good
Yep.
to see everyone. There is a lot to talk about. I am sure that in my list of items to discuss, I forgot something that you want to get to. So, feel free to just, share away with thoughts. Doug's popping in for a minute. Good to see you, Doug. I'm just teasing you. Hello to our friend Andrew. Hola, Andrew. Right, you're on the West Coast. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
Oh, right. Yes.
So, Alonzo, how have you been?
Generally good.
It's been a
um,
while.
it is. Yeah. I just did. I turned in a big writing thing that I can't talk about yet, but I'm very pumped about. It's not a book, but it's a thing that people will be able to see. Dave and I are part of this thing that's coming up. We should apply for this next year. The Cinematheque does a thing every August, I think, called Friend of the Fest, and they get film podcasters to program movies for them and then host those screenings. So for the first time, Dave and I are doing it as Linoleum Knife. We're hosting a single ending screening of Clue on Sunday the 24th at the Los Feliz 3. It's apparently the first time Paramount has struck single ending prints in 40 years when the movie first opened. So yeah, it's a 40th anniversary screening, and that should be pretty cool. So I hope people will come to that.
Because there were multiple Clue endings.
Yes, in the original run, they would tell you in the newspaper, like ending A is at these theaters, ending B is at these theaters, ending C is at these theaters. And then because I think people thought, well, I don't want to see the wrong one, so I'm just not going to go at all. And it kind of tanked. Then when it went to home video, and like when I programmed it in college on 16 millimeter, they would give you all three endings. And so like that's pretty much how it's been ever since.
Genius. So clever. A choose your own adventure book in film form.
Exactly. How
Tomas
are you,
says,
darling?
I'm great. I'm really good. We traveled a lot. We were in Montreal. We were in Boston. My son was in Mammoth for a week training with the cross country team. But now we are all home for a bit, and school starts like August 20th, which is just crazy to me. But yeah, we're getting settled back into all of our normal fall stuff here. Tomas says there's a typo on your title. It says Dean Cain. We're going to talk about Dean Cain.
He's in the news.
He is in the news. And hello to you, Skate Alex in Alaska. Jimmy Ma, no, this is not the weapons spoiler talk. That will be a separate thing we do on Tuesday. We just recorded a non-spoiler review of weapons, which lasted all of 20 seconds because we didn't want to talk about weapons. No, that's not true. It's a full-on review. We sing its praises.
We want to talk about weapons. We're just very cagey about what we're saying about weapons until we have our spoiler chat.
There's a great deal of expectation about this movie, and I think it will live up to the hype for a lot of people, but we didn't want to ruin it. The best part of weapons is not knowing a thing about weapons going into it.
Totally.
So if we can preserve that experience for you, we're trying to do that. Spoilers are, of course, in the eye of the beholder, and people get very mad sometimes. Like, you said this was a non-spoiler review. You spoiled it in the first minute. I'm unsubscribing, but we're trying real hard. I promise. We do
Yes.
think about this and we talk about
Yes, we
this.
gave it our best shot.
Yes. Javier says Weapons was great. Sean says can't wait to see Weapons. Yeah. There you go. Very
I'll tell you,
good.
you've got choices this weekend because we also both really liked Freakier Friday. So
August is weirdly good. So
yeah.
yes, let's get into news. Yeah, weapons, of course. A big thing that has happened in the last week or so, which I know you guys have lots of thoughts on, is this Wizard of Oz at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
And what they are doing is it starts August 28th is when it's, you can go see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. They have mainly done concerts there. My husband saw U2 and Dead and Company there, and I guess it's incredible. It's so cool, just as an immersive experience. But they're going to take the Wizard of Oz and they're going to project it on the Sphere. And to do that, they are messing with it with AI, and they are expanding it beyond the frame of what we know the Wizard of Oz to look like.
It turns out
And
it's not just AI. Like a lot of human being effects
thousands,
folks worked on this thing too.
thousands,
Yeah.
including also, they want it to be immersive in a multi-sensory way. And so
Hmm.
when the tornado comes, they're going to blow wind in there. They're going to blow leaves at you. You're going to feel like you're in the middle of the
So
tornado.
they're
And so
4DXing it.
they are. It's smell-o-vision, and so a lot of people have a lot of strong feelings about this, and understandably so. Alonzo, what do you think about this?
Well, the part that I object to the most, frankly, is that they're cutting it to 70 minutes.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, apparently that's part of the thing of how these shows work. And I'm like, you don't cut The Wizard of Oz for time. So that seems like a weird choice. Uh, and then, I don't know. Like, I get the idea that you want to use these technologies to sort of like, you know, bring movies into a realm of whatever, but it's like the Wizard of Oz doesn't need the boost. It's doing just fine and will continue to do just fine without being blown out of proportion. And I don't know that necessarily like suddenly having the scarecrow surrounded by like a vast amount of sky is really bringing anything to that movie. And so I wonder if there's other stuff that could have translated better, like Speed Racer, do do something that's already kind of like big and crazy and effectsy and just sort of like blow that out into becoming like a theme park attraction. So I don't know. It just there's a lot of the cineast in me. This isn't sitting well, but on the other hand, like I get that you want to keep your properties sort of viable and up to snuff with the new technology. There's this thing called, I think it's COSM or something, COSM,
Yes.
where they do these 12K screenings. We have one in LA, which we should maybe go sometime. Right now they're doing The Matrix, and later this year they're doing Willy Wonka, and it's like a 12K. And I don't know what the parameters are, what the sizes of the thing is, but so this is clearly a thing that's happening, whether we like it or not. And so, yeah, obviously I'll wait to hear what people have to say about it once this is running and they start seeing it, I guess.
Yeah, it's incredibly expensive
Yeah.
also. Just for the hell of it, I'm not going. But I
Mm.
looked up what tickets would cost on my birthday, which is on a Saturday,
Mhm.
and the cheapest available seats are $309 and they go up to $969.
Whoa, my
So
God. I thought it was
fucking
like
expensive.
$100 or something. 3 to
Mm-mm.
900?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's also on a Saturday. So I don't know whether like during the week it costs less, whatever. But I mean, stuff at the Sphere is expensive. Like individual tickets for you two were like $400 or something like
Oh,
that. Like
man.
it can be very expensive to go do that. James Dolan's gotta go get his investment back. But for
Hologram Buddy Ebsen should come out and show you the footage of the dance he didn't get to do in the movie at those prices. Good Lord.
yeah. So I feel like this is pretty gross for the most part. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
ghoulish and kind of ghastly. Especially given that like what they have done, like what I have seen in photos and video of what they have done to to spruce it up
Yeah.
just looks hideous. Like to in sharpening Judy Garland's features, for example,
Mhm.
it just looks like too crisp and inhuman in ways that are just gross When you see how they've expanded like a background behind her with the yellow brick road and behind
Yeah.
the scarecrow, as you mentioned, like it just looks fake and gross and weird. Like, yes, all of
And
Hollywood is fake, of course, but
but it looks like dead space, I think, is the
mhm.
is the problem. I have a friend who's like a super hardcore Oz file. Like he's actually written sort of Oz spin-off books that have been published. And maybe he's just trying to glass half full it. He's very excited about the sort of enhanced soundtrack because,
Oh,
the 1939 sort of, I guess, mono soundtrack probably isn't, hasn't gotten the zhuzh that, say, the digital image has over the years. So he thinks that is something to be excited about and to look forward to. But yeah, I don't I don't know that we needed it. And I don't know that I don't again, the Wizard of Oz didn't need it. And I think if somebody wants to create, if they commissioned like name a filmmaker to create something to show in the sphere and to like to map out like it's going to be this proportion and this many track stereo and like not exactly this, but like when they hired Francis Coppola to make Captain EO, like bring in somebody to do something where it's like it's got to fit this thing and we want you to make the most of this thing possible, then that would be really cool. Like what does Paul Thomas Anderson want to do with the sphere space? What does Greta Gerwig want to do with it? What does
Mhm.
Harmony Korine want to do with the sphere space? But to
Terrifying.
stretch an existing movie to fit those parameters, I don't know. That's the greatest idea.
And it feels like a wholly different enterprise from like a 4K restoration.
Sure.
This is not that. They are
No.
changing. Like
Yeah.
there's one thing where like they bring in a character that you don't see from the outside. Like they expand it. They've created a whole performance, like
Yeah.
a whole person, like a fake person
Mhm.
to play a character who was on the fringes. So they are changing it. They're changing the fiber of it.
What this kind of reminds me of is in the late so MGM would periodically re-release Gone with the Wind because it was
Mhm.
a huge moneymaker when it came out. Like it's still considered in many circles, like if you look at tickets sold, like the highest grossing movie ever, the most seen movie ever,
Mhm.
the sold the most tickets. And in the late 60s, they thought we're going to re-release it in CinemaScope.
Okay.
And what that meant was nowadays, they would like, maybe letterbox it or something, but no. They just lopped off the top and the bottom to make it
Oh,
anamorphic. And so people's like feet were
so it's like
gone.
stretched
Sometimes their
out.
heads were gone. It was just like, this catastrophe. And, I'm sure no prints of that exist. So this kind of seems similar of like, let's take this property and squeeze it into this new technology thing without really thinking about what that means and what that's going to look like.
Yeah. Anyway, if anyone goes to see this, let us know. I'm curious
Please.
to know how this turns out because it's opening in a couple of weeks in Vegas. I can't think of a better time to be in Las Vegas than August 28th.
Ah, yes, the desert.
Yeah, so that is happening. That's caused a great deal of consternation. But if you are going to be inside of an air-conditioned theater for a while, apparently AMC is considering shortening its pre-show because right
Hallelujah.
now, as it stands, it's a good solid 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just know that going in. And so, you can just show up late. Or if there's a big line for popcorn, who cares? Because you know
Yeah.
you've got a good cushion of time there.
And you have a reserved seat. So it's not like you have to map out, you have to stake your claim. Like you bought that ticket, you know exactly where you're going to be sitting. So you can come breezing in 30 seconds. You can come breezing in when Nicole Kidman starts talking and you're good to go. Um so yeah, I mean, because we went yesterday to see Weapons, and like, yeah, just all the ads, and then all the trailers, which Dave now refers to as my trailer nap. And it's true. If you close your eyes
Mhm.
during trailers, they all kind of sound the same. It's all like
Mhm.
boom, and maybe some like pop song thrown in. And so you don't have to see the trailer or have anything spoiled for you. And if you kind of tune it out enough, you can get a little in, you know.
Yes. Steven says here in New York City, the AMC throws in an extra ad and it's about 26 plus minutes now. Yeah, it's anywhere from like 25 to 28. It's about 25 at theaters here in Los Angeles. And I guess when you buy a ticket on the AMC website, I don't know,
Mm.
Alonzo, if you can vouch for this, they actually warn you like
Yeah.
there are 25 minutes worth of trailers, which the studios don't like because it's almost
Yeah.
like a discouragement from
Yeah.
coming
Don't
early.
bother.
But some people like trailers and want to go early to get all the
Sure.
trailers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm an A-lister, so you know it doesn't tell me those things, but
You're very
because
fancy.
I'm fancy.
You are.
Uh,
But the Regal is like that too. I often go to the Regal at the top of
yeah.
the hill here, and they will have their own trailers and their own cringe-inducing promo beforehand. And so, yeah. Jimmy asked where are they showing for 25 minutes. They're showing trailers, and they are showing sometimes ads for like M&Ms
Yeah. Maria
and
Menounos has her whole movie thing happening.
movie. You have a
Fathom
thing
Events
telling
ads sometimes.
right. Don't talk or text. There's all of
Mhm.
that. There's Nicole Kidman telling you that we come to this place for magic.
Magic.
And so David says, no more Nicole Kidman ad, please. No, I love the
Oh,
Nicole Kidman ad.
no.
Keep that and
Bite
get
your
rid of
tongue.
everything
And keep
else.
the don't talk and text. I'm fine with that one too.
Do you think that the no talk and text admonition actually gets people to not talk and text?
No, but at least if you try and bring it up later, they can't say no one told them, you know.
We told you. So
Yes.
apparently AMC is considering that. That would be great. A movie that you can now go see in theaters soon is Hamilton. That
Yes.
film version of Hamilton, which we reviewed here like 5 years ago. They
Yeah.
were going to put it out in theaters. They recorded it in 2016, like right when they were like peak Hamilton,
Yeah.
and then they held on to it
They were
and
going to
then they
release
put
it in
it
2021
right.
originally in theaters.
Yeah.
And then the lockdown happened. It was like, all right, Disney Plus, boom, let's do it. And so now
Yeah.
it's the 10th anniversary of the show coming up in 2026. And so they are going to finally release it to theaters.
Yeah, September 5th. But I recall I went back and I watched our review, which is a nice little time capsule, by the way, of how all of our hair is different on 4th of July weekend in 2020. We even said, like, I hope that a day comes where they do show this in the theater because it would be spectacular. Just like
Sure.
the lighting and the intimacy of it and just the way it's shot. And there were like 100 cameras. So
And then this year we're also getting not the Richard Linklater, but the Broadway revival of Merrily We Roll Along with
okay.
with Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe. That was also filmed, and I think Sony Classics is putting that in theaters like in November or something. So
Oh, fun.
it's a good year for fans of Broadway on the big screen.
Yeah, that seems like a great way to get in there and see that. Omar says that Night Call, the movie that he mentioned, is on Hulu.
Huh. Okay.
So there you go. Good to
Good to
know.
know.
Speaking of Hulu, that's a fantastic segue. Thank you for that, Omar. So Hulu is just going to fold into Disney Plus, and that's going to happen in 2026.
Yeah.
But I'm so confused about how all these things work, these like multi-billion-dollar deals, because you can still get Hulu separately and you can still
Yes.
get Disney Plus separately, but Hulu is going to be part of Disney Plus. Do you understand this?
Yeah. So basically at the moment it can be two subscriptions, or like I get Disney Plus with the Hulu bundle. And so, you know, as somebody said, eventually they're just all going to become cable. Like everything's just going to moosh together. And I think that, you know, I mean, Disney has by acquiring Fox, Disney has owned Hulu for a while now. But I think there was this notion of like, we want to keep Disney Plus a little more, you know, GPG rated. But then it was like, it's been sort of this slow thing like, well, okay, now we're going to have the Netflix Marvel shows. So we're going to have an age window in case parents want to put that in. And then like, okay, we'll have the Hulu stuff. So you're going to like, I go to Disney Plus to watch The Bear, you know, or Shogun or whatever.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, I think ultimately it's just a thing of like, we'll just phase out the Hulu thing and just make everything Disney Plus, and that way everybody has to say the word Disney all the time when they're talking about this stuff. And it'll change the brand of what Disney Plus even means, so that people don't think it's just a place to go see, like, you know, all the versions of Freaky Friday, but it's also got all this other stuff.
But you could get live TV through Hulu.
Right, and I imagine that too will make its way over to Disney Plus as
That's
well.
confusing to me as well.
Mm.
Yeah. So when I go to my TV, the TV right behind me,
Hmm.
there is a Hulu icon, and I click on that when I want to watch like The Bear or Only Murders in the Building or whatever.
That's
So there
that's
will
what
no
I
longer be a Hulu icon. I'll just go Disney Plus, and it will all be there.
Yeah, basically. Like that's what I used to do, and like because I was a friend of ours was letting us use his Hulu password, and then they started cracking down on that. So we just decided, all right, what the hell? We already get Disney Plus. We'll just upgrade it to Hulu and have the whole schmear.
I realize the way I sound right now, I sound like, have you seen those Instagram reels from that guy who pretends he's Gal Gadot?
No,
Have you seen that? He's like
no.
this bearded, husky gay dude, and every clip is like Gal Gadot is learning her lines for this movie, or Gal Gadot does an ad for "I can't believe it's not butter," and it's hilarious. This is like a thing. Vulture did a whole story about this guy and how every time she's like, "Okay, so it's butter. Okay, I can't believe it's not butter. Oh, this is butter. Oh, this is a vegetable," and then everyone ends with "Kalel, no." There's a whole I didn't realize I sound like that. Like, it's Hulu, but Disney Plus? I sound like a dumbass. I realized that. Anyway, it's
It's
really funny.
confusing to keep up with all this shit, and it's like again they keep changing it because ultimately everything turns into the thing that it was designed to replace, and then cost as much as the thing that it was supposed to replace. Like Lyft and Uber were supposed to like revolutionize taxi cabs, and now they just cost as much as taxi cabs.
I need to send you the clip. The best
Please
one is I
do.
can't believe it's not butter guy. His name is Matt something. Anyway, thank you,
Does he
Benjamin,
do
for your
that line from Death on the Nile?
the
The
champagne
champagne
thing.
line, yeah.
Yeah, everyone is like her talking to her acting coach about how to do a
Uh,
certain movie. And
does
then
she
there's a
sing
whole one about
Imagine?
Oh, I have not seen that one yet, but there's a whole one where she finally figures out that Kal-El is Superman.
Oh.
She thought she was just saying Kal-El, no, as like her catchphrase, but she realizes Kal-El is Superman. Then who is Clark? It's really cute.
Okay,
It's really
I
fun.
gotta
Anyway,
see these.
Benjamin, thank you for your kind donation.
Oh,
It
thank
says,
you.
love you guys. I don't know if you guys care or not, but what do you think of Gibson's Resurrection coming out in 2027 in 2 parts? Thanks, guys. I don't know what that is.
The Passion of the Christ sequel.
Oh, Jesus is dead again. Wait, so what happens in this? It's about like
The
what happens on the
resurrection.
third day?
Yeah, that seems a lot for one movie, let alone two. I have to this day never seen Passion of the Christ, and I don't want to. So I would just as soon not have to review the sequels because that would mean I would finally have to go back and watch the first one. And,
You've
and
never
that's
seen
just,
Passion of the Christ?
I've never seen Passion of the Christ, which is as much to do with my dislike of watching gore as anything else.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. It's good. I mean, it's intense. It's well made. I mean, say what you will about Mel Gibson, he can make an action movie, and
Mm,
they are visceral.
yeah.
He's good at
I've
that.
always heard how gross this one is. I'm just like, I don't know. Thanks. I'm good.
It is. We were confirmed. We know what happened. Were you
Yeah.
confirmed?
I was confirmed.
I did it all too. Benjamin says, dude Gibson is a crazy guy, but he's a good filmmaker. Yes, Derek, good point. It should be called Two Passion, Two Christ. Yes.
No, look, here's the thing. Like if Mel Gibson has lanes he can stay in and I'm perfectly fine with it. Like I still say Bloodfather, real fun. Real fun, where he plays like a trashy motorcycle guy. But don't try and sell me like cutesy, family friendly Daddy's Home 2 Mel Gibson. No, thank you.
Yes. It's Passion 2 Electric Boogaloo. This time he dies to save the community center. There you go. Hello, thank you,
The
Daniel
Legend of
Zambrano.
Judas's Silver.
I would love to find a way for us to at one point get to break into Electric Boogaloo because it's important.
Why
One day
not?
we will. Daniel Zambrano, thank you for your kind donation.
Thank
Daniel
you.
says, thank you for the awesome content, guys. My mom passed this week and your
Oh, I'm
channel has been a great
sorry.
help. Daniel, I'm so sorry.
That sucks.
I'm really, really sorry. Thank you for spending some time with us. I hope we've been helpful.
Yeah.
We both lost our moms a long time ago, so we know how hard that is, no matter how old you are. So
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear that. But thank you for being here with us. I hope that my bad Gal Gadot impression brought you a smile. We have so much to talk about. We have the Batman Part 2. Speaking of Part
Mm,
2s, everything's flowing nicely into the next thing totally by accident today. The Batman Part 2 is going to begin shooting in spring 2026. It's
okay.
supposed to come out in October 2027. Are you excited about this?
I weirdly, I think I'm more attached to the Penguin at this point.
It's so good.
Because I remember seeing the Batman and being like, all right, it's fine, but it didn't like write the character for me or sort of take me to new places. But I'm curious to see what the James Gunn of it all might be. Not that he's going to be directly involved, but he and the other dude are sort of running DC Studios,
Mhm.
and so it'll be curious to see if how or if even they sort of deal with like tone or things like that.
Yeah. Jimmy asks, is Robert Pattinson still Batman? Yes,
Yes,
he is indeed. And Matt Reeves is directing. And yeah, it's just so incredibly well made. And we loved the Penguin so much. And that was such a fascinating and like riveting
yeah,
exploration of that version of the Batman world.
for sure. And hey, if you want to hear all of our recaps of the Penguin, you should join our Patreon. It's in the show
Yes.
notes.
They are all there. Yes. Yeah, James Gunn will executive produce
Okay.
apparently, which makes sense because it's
Yeah.
his DC thing now. So that is happening. Aubrey Plaza is going to play Heidi Fleiss. You guys
I
remember Heidi Fleiss?
I kind of love this, especially because Rachel Sennett is writing it.
Yes, that would be fun. Yeah. So it's
So,
all about if those of you who were young and were not alive in the 90s,
ah, the
Heidi Fleiss
Beverly
was a
Hills
Hollywood.
Madam.
Right, the Hollywood Madam, and she had this like little black book of various clients
Yeah.
and famous people who had used her escort services.
And yeah, it was an odd story and kind of a tragic one, and I could see it would make for good drama, and I think Aubrey Plaza is a good choice. I just saw Honey Don't.
Oh, have you seen that? I gotta see it
Yeah,
next
and
week.
she's quite good in that. So
Yeah, for sure. I have to review that for Eber. It's not at all a sequel to
no,
Drive Away Dolls, though,
it is
right?
not. Thank goodness.
But it's her in that same kind of like Southern mode for Ethan Cohen.
Kind of, yeah, but it's that one was like in the southeast, and this one's set in Bakersfield.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
eventually as well. Yeah, I think Aubrey Plaza when she makes interesting choices, right? What was the
Hmm.
one where she is doing fake credit cards?
Oh yes, I'm forgetting. It's not Ingrid Goes West. It's another one, but yeah,
That
no,
was great too. I
that
love
was
Ingrid
great too.
Goes
Yeah,
West too. Anyway, someone in the comments will
it
think of
has a
it. Anyway,
woman's name in the title. That's why I was thinking about it. I couldn't remember. I can't remember, but I know which one you're talking
I
about.
can't either, but it's great, and she's great in it. Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon are going to reunite for a golf comedy on Netflix. This is a show that he was supposed to have done with Rami Youssef.
Oh, okay.
And Rami Youssef, Emily the Criminal says all of our friends,
Thank you.
Denise Lewis, everyone's got it. Thank you. Um, this is a show he was going to do with Rami Youssef. I guess there were some creative differences. And so now Molly Shannon's going to be in it. I don't know what it's called, but they are Cord and
Fun.
Tish.
I was gonna say I miss Cord Tish.
They only did that like once or twice, right? Like for the Rose Parade.
They did the Rose Red. Didn't they do like a royal wedding or something? Also,
Okay.
one of those. Anyway, yeah, that was goofy.
It's a fun idea. So
Yeah.
they will reunite for that. I don't think we know when that is coming out. Gina Carano settled with Disney over her firing from The Mandalorian.
Yes, with lawyers provided to her by Elon Musk, apparently.
Yes, because she felt persecuted by what she wrote on Twitter, right? Now X.
Yes.
And I guess he has promised a legal fund for people who feel like their free speech is being infringed upon on his platform.
Yeah, as long as it's a certain kind of free speech, he is right up there to advocate for it, but not for the other
Yes.
kind. So,
Yes. So Gina Carano was on The Mandalorian. She was fired in 2021
mhm.
and I don't think has worked much since, maybe in like right
Sh-
leaning
I would
projects.
say she did like a Daily Wire movie. I want to say like one of those Ben Shapiro deals.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, who is Gina Carano if she's not complaining about being canceled by the woke left? Like, that feels like it's her entire personality now. So,
At this point, yeah. And in her statement, which was vague and conciliatory, she says, I have a desire to remain in the arts. And so let's all meet there.
okay.
So whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Speaking of people who are doing right wing projects, Dean Cain. All right. So Dean Cain in the title will now make sense to all of us. Speaking of Superman,
Ugh.
he was Superman once. And I don't think he's acted very much since then. But now his new assignment, his new role, he says he's going to sign up to be an ICE agent. He can't wait. He wants to be an ICE agent as fast as he possibly can. 59-year-old Dean Cain.
Yeah, this is super despicable in a lot of ways. Not the least of which is the fact that he had Japanese relatives who were interned during World War II,
Oh.
and now he's going to be on the other end of that spectrum, and it's just like, wow, you're just willfully refusing to learn anything from history, so that's the main thing I find creepy about this, just and not to mention just the sort of naked desire for attention that this clearly is.
Relevance.
Yeah. Hey everybody, look at me, talk about
Yeah, relevance
me.
outside of Fox News Channel,
Yeah.
or all of the right wing cable channels. Yeah, it's strange that at this point in his life and his career, that this is what he feels is his purpose, to go out on the streets and round people up, and that he has this like fervor for
Yeah.
this. It's kind of gross.
As historian Kevin Cruz said on Blue Sky, well, the upside is now when you yell at a bunch of masked ICE agents that they're assholes, maybe one of them will be Dean Cain.
Yes, but I read the article about him. He says he's not going to wear a mask. That his
Ooh.
family is worried for him and thinks he should wear a mask, but he will not do that. He wants to be out and proud as an ICE agent.
Okay, whatever, Dean Cain, you do
Yes.
you.
Yes, and Noe Garcia asks, why would ICE hire someone with no law enforcement background? I think he is like a reserve police officer or something.
Oh, I don't know,
think
but I think a lot of people being hired by ICE right now have no experience whatsoever and are
Yeah.
being called into the Gestapo, which, by the way, this week ICE put out a tweet or something that was like trying to encourage people to join up. And it was something like protect your culture. Like, talk about saying the quiet part out loud. It's just so
Yeah.
gross.
Also, as we pointed out, as Jimmy Ma points out, isn't he half Japanese?
Yes. Yes. His father was Japanese. Several family members were interned in Idaho. So yeah, he is partially of Japanese descent, but
I do think he
guess
has
he's not,
some.
I don't even know.
I don't know what actual real world street experience he has as a law enforcement agent, but he is like a reserve something. So there is
Okay.
like, maybe it's just cosplaying. I don't know. Yes.
However
And
you slice it, it's gross.
yeah, as Rich points out, but he was Superman. That's plenty of experience. Yes, he's out there protecting people on the streets from danger.
Also, he's an Ivy Leaguer. Does he not have anything better to do with his time? He went to Princeton, for Christ's sake. He dated Brooke Shields for 2 seconds, remember?
It's just weird. Everything about it is weird. Yeah, Angel points out, and I was going to mention this. Are you guys watching South Park? Are you watching South Park?
I'm not, but I have a friend who does and who shares the highlights with me. And it reminds me of back when I used to watch South Park in the 2000s and I worked at The Advocate. I would come in and talk about what had happened on the previous episode. And my boss at the time said, I would much rather hear you tell me what happened on South Park than to watch South Park. And I've reached that point in my life where I would just rather have my friend tell me the highlights than have to sit through the whole thing myself.
Supposedly it's great now. Like it's the South Park that we need for our times.
Well, no, look, I'm thrilled they're out there doing it, and targeting the people who should be targeted, especially given how Paramount is totally capitulated, in their attempts to make the Skydance merger happen and rolling over and play dead basically, and
Yeah.
pretty much destroying CBS News in the process, not to mention the whole Colbert nonsense. So good on South Park for doing it. I just don't find the show all that funny anymore, but I'm glad they're doing what they're doing.
But apparently, like the thing with Trump wandering in the desert, like went all the way up to Sherry Redstone, and like she approved it.
Well, all right
So
then.
I admire that. And then like this past week, a couple folks were asking about, did you watch this past week? Yeah, like this whole thing with Christy Nome. There's a whole thing with Christy
Yeah.
Nome where her face slides off of her body like in the substance and like crawls on the
And
ground.
she
And
shoots a dog or
she
something,
shoots crypto.
yeah. And so, look, I'm a big believer in speaking truth to power. And of course we have a president who has nothing better to do than watch television and comment upon it and make statements about South Park and fucking Sydney Sweeney's jeans commercial. So of course he's seeing it and getting all, his knickers in a twist about it.
Stephen asked a good question, but will South Park actually influence middle of the road centrists to finally turn on Trump?
Probably not. I'm sure they'll just be like, "Oh, Hollywood, they're just blah, 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 blah." I mean, look, I think frankly the most damning thing, the thing that's finally going to stick, if anything sticks to Donald Trump, is going to be the Epstein files. I think that's been a thing that has been so drummed up, and so much of his base for years kept claiming, "Oh, we want to protect children, we want to stop this cabal of child
Right.
molesters." So if Trump is now going to suddenly get all wishy-washy and like, pardon Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever, it's like that's not going to wash. I think that's the one thing that even like a lot of the hardcore folks are going to be like, "Oh, wait, there is a line here that he can cross that I'm not going to go with him with, and this is it." I
I
hope.
hope so. I keep hoping that. You just
Yes.
reminded me of Frazzle Drip and the whole thing with the remember Frazzle Drip?
No.
The thing one of the many QAnon conspiracy theories was that there's like cabal of leftist elitists who were like killing children and wearing their faces as masks.
Oh, right. And
Frazzle
Tom
Drip.
Hanks was staying young with the whatever the blood thing. Yeah, that's
Anyway, we have strayed. Can I give you some really good happy news to end with here?
please.
Do you have a golden retriever? If you do, they might be in the new Air Bud movie. The
Yeah.
makers of the new Air Bud are putting out a casting call for purebred golden retrievers and also dogs who can like do tricks and
Yeah.
things. So if you have one, there's
There's
a
nothing
link
in the rule book that says your dog can't be a movie star.
yeah, there's a link in our description here, airbud.com/the search. They want you to send in video of your dog being cute and doing tricks. And if your dog is a golden retriever and knows how to play basketball, that is all a plus. Gage is here and asks, I'm late. Have you guys discussed the Ice Cube War of the Worlds? I see future midnight screenings in the future. I have not yet seen it. When we were talking about what we need to catch up with, we did ponder War of the World, which I believe is still at 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm hearing just terrible, terrible things about it. But yeah, we've not put on our waders and gone in on that one yet.
Yeah, I mean, should we? Have you guys seen it? Is it terrible? Is it worth it?
Is it
Is it
fun
that kind of
bad,
bad?
or is it just like life draining bad?
Because we see a lot
It's
of
an
just like
important distinction.
blandly. I agree, like a lot of blandly bad movies.
Yeah.
We see a lot. So let us know if we should do that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm sorry it's taken us a little while to do news again. We're here for a couple of weeks. We're taking off that last week in August.
Yeah.
But then we'll be back with more news. Well, maybe we'll do it next week. We could do news next week.
We're definitely doing. We'll definitely be here Tuesday for our weapons spoiler chat, so you don't want to miss that.
Tuesday at noon Pacific, we will be doing a weapons spoiler chat. So go see Weapons this weekend and then come back and we can all really, really get into it with us. We'd love to hear what you think about it. We'd love to work through it all with you. One more quick thing. Victor asks about the show Alien Earth. We have heard great things about Alien Earth.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I have not had a chance to watch it yet.
I've not either. We're gonna so on our Patreon, if you are over at our Patreon, patreon.com/befastallday, we are about to wrap up the Gilded Age next week. We have started doing overcompensating. We're catching up with that. We're catching up with Sirens. and then Peacemaker's coming soon.
Yeah, it's a full docket.
Yeah, there's good stuff. Yes. So thank you. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Alonzo. Thanks to all of our
Thank you.
friends.
Thanks,
And we will
y'all.
be back again soon. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.